Outlander Blood of My Blood will make its season finale with episode 10, and after what happened in episode 9, I can't wait to see what we'll witness in this amazing finale. Will Brian escape from the assassins after him and take Ellen away? Will Henry and Julia finally be free? I know you're just as curious about these questions as I am. So, let's talk about what will happen in the season finale. The title of episode 10 is Something Borrowed, and the synopsis says, Ellen prepares for her wedding day while Julia attempts her escape. As you see, the synopsis really doesn't give any clues, but don't worry, from the promo we can get an idea of what's coming. Let's start with Ellen. In episode 9, she was easily the character that hurt me the most, because after Colum found out from Dougal about Ellen's relationship with Brian, he pushed her to end it, and Ellen, though she really didn't want to, ended up leaving Brian. That was truly heartbreaking. Still, I think her choice, as painful as it was, made sense. If they'd been caught together one more time, it would have meant death for both of them. So for Ellen and Brian to find freedom, there has to be another way. Before I get into that, let's look at what might happen to Ellen in episode 10. In the promo, we see Ellen, hopeless, already in her wedding dress for Malcolm. We also see Malcolm's uncle threatening Colum. I believe this threat isn't about Ellen and Brian's relationship being exposed, but more about pushing the marriage forward so that after the wedding, the Grants could keep the Mackenzies under control. And from Colum's face and Ms. Fitz's fear, it looks like the threat worked. In another scene, Malcolm is furious, and I think this is where everything will blow up. I believe his anger comes from Ellen saying something that shows she doesn't really want to marry. Most likely, she'll try to delay it with some excuses, and Malcolm will start to suspect her. So while Ellen is stuck right before the ceremony, let's see what Brian will be doing. In the promo for episode 10, we see that the chase from episode 9 continues. And in Brian and Murtaugh's conversation, we finally see the Murtaugh we know and love from Outlander, which honestly made me so happy. Him telling Brian his love is unique and hinting that he can help him take Ellen, that was really exciting. Most likely, Brian and Murtaugh will fight off the assassins in a tough clash, then head to Castle Leoch or the Grants' castle to stop the wedding. But I don't think they'll succeed in taking Ellen away in the finale. I think for Brian and Ellen, this season will end with Brian waiting at the gates of Castle Leoch with Murtaugh, while Ellen is forced into the wedding ceremony with Malcolm. What kind of ending do you think Ellen and Brian will get? While you share your guesses, let me tell you what might be waiting for Henry and Julia. In the promo, we first saw Julia and Henry in their own time, and honestly, seeing them so peaceful put a smile on my face. Henry calling that vacation our little escape felt like a nod to the situation they're in now. So back to the subject, how will Henry and Julia escape? Most likely, we'll see Henry arriving near Castle Leathers first, then Julia will sneak out on some excuse to meet him. But they can't just run away right then. First, they'll have to deal with Simon's guard who's watching Julia. That's where, in the promo, Julia makes a fake call for help and the guard comes over to her. Most likely, Henry will knock him out when he least expects it. Then nothing will stand in their way to run off together. At the same time, we'll see Simon wandering around anxiously, not finding Julia or the guard anywhere. But just when everything seems to go as planned, as we saw in the promo, Archbug and his men will come looking for Henry. I think at this point, Archbug and his men will chase Henry and Julia all the way to Craigna-Dun, and unfortunately, since Julia no longer has the time travel stone in her ring, they might not be able to return to their own time and could get caught by Archbug. At that point, I think Henry and Julia will be left at his mercy. If Archbug decides, just once, to be a better man, maybe he'll let them live on the run until they find another way back to their own time. So what do you think will happen to Henry and Julia in the season finale? Do you think they'll manage to fully escape? Let's meet in the comments. By the way, the season finale airs on October 10th, so in the meantime, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more Outlander and blood of my blood. See you in the next one.